does have some side effects. There's a cough and possibly loss of taste, but there's also an urge to bake banana bread, clap on a Thursday and drive to Durham.
Very good. Bravo. Well done, team. There's the blisters.
We should just clarify before we go any further that we own all the IP for this. Okay, so if you carry on down that line. Okay, let's move on to the shared decision makers.
Okay, go on then, Mark.
Okay, so mine is Moggy Taubert Mycin. And so, I couldn't find many great drugs that sound a bit like Mark. So I kind of went for street names of drugs. And I've got a few of those up my sleeve, basically. Not the drugs, but the names of the drugs up my sleeve. Does anyone know what Moggies are?
Mogadon. Nitroazepam.
Yeah, it's a benzodiazepine, basically. Yeah, so well done. Yeah, Moggies. And so I went for Moggy Taubert Mycin. So my surname, obviously, plus mycin, because of the antibiotic that is currently growing in my food bin, which is going to be the next superbug buster. Basically, it's going to be great, and it's going to be going into all your veins when you're old, basically.
Look, Mark lives in a very, very nice part of Cardiff as well, and so he's going to be under a lot of pressure there with those bins.
Oh yeah, actually, you're right. Oh, tomorrow is just going to be it's not going to be good. People are going to be looking into the front garden, which is usually a mess anyway. If I'm
They're going to be judging you, Mark.
Yeah, and the recycling bins are still there. I'm in the sort of Pontcanna region of Cardiff, and there's a fair bit of sort of nice neighbourhood gardens, competitions, and that kind of thing going on, which I never would win, basically, because ours is pretty much a mess most of the time. There's even sort of people who go around who judge the sort of Christmas tree decoration, and you can sort of win the prize for the area.
Didn't you have an orchestra on the street during lockdown, Mark?
Yes, we did. Yeah, we have lots of musicians in our area, and that was actually very nice. Actually, because we've got two households, and they're all kind of musicians, basically. So they kind of just took all their instruments out, unpacked in the middle of the street, and off they went, basically. That was really nice.
So we had that. I live in Lancashire, in Wilton, and in our village, we had a guitarist and an opera singer, and they used to do that every Thursday. And now, when the NHS doesn't have enough funds to carry out some surgery, they go into the operating theatre and sing an aria and play some classical Spanish music on the guitar. And that seems to work just as well as the drugs that they can't afford to pay for.
And it's carbon neutral as well, I'm sure.
Oh, it's excellent. Can I just say that in where I live, a moggy is a fluffy pussy.
Oh, moving on.
Moving on quickly. So, Sam, your drug name?
Mine is samvostatin. And I didn't actually have a reason, but I think I would probably say because I've been around for a while, much like the statins, and helped quite a few people. So that's my drug name, samvostatin.
Brilliant. And Jonathan?
So I've gone for Johnny Cetamol because despite much research, no one really truly understands how I work.
Are you available in the American market, and what would you be called there?
Acetamine
Hill.
Something, yes.
I think Acid Underhill.
Okay, very good. There we go. Acid Underhill. That was my name when I used to go to the Hacienda in Manchester. That's a joke. By the way. That's a joke. I'm not condoning it at all. Not big and it's not clever.
Back to the moggies.
And a few candies.
Well, I must just say, you talked about Claire being the first guest. Who can forget her first desert island drug was telling us about, and who you would have thought that Stratford-upon-Avon was a middle-class market town without a heroin problem.
You'd be wrong.
She goes on to tell us about methadone. It's worth a listen. Gimmo, what's yours?
I didn't realise I was supposed to have one, so I've been frantically trying to think one up as we were chatting. So I've come up with Gimazepam because
you put people to sleep?
I am. Yeah, I was trying to think how I word it actually, but yeah, I am a bit of a sedative, I suppose. But I'm addictive, and I've got a high street value.
You didn't need to bother because Gimmos already exist on the high street.
Do they?
Yeah. They're like erectile dysfunction drugs. When you buy them illegally, basically. Gimmos.
I don't know whether you're telling the truth or not there, Mark.
I can't believe Gimmo had...
I mean, not that I've needed them.
I think you can ask Frank, can't you? He knows everything about illicit drugs.
Can I have a few Obohs? Can I have a few Gimmos? Can I have a few Roxys? Can I have a few Moggies? Okay, £25. Oh, can we make it 20? Oh, okay, go on then.
I can't believe Gimmo wasn't prepared because I thought this wasn't just thrown together.
I know. And you'd be right. Brilliant. Thank you, shared decision makers. I think we were the clear winner there. Obviously, Jamie's a judge. I don't want to influence him, but...
Does anybody want to have a guess at the score?
No. What about have you got a drug name?
No.
This took weeks of planning.
I've used all my cognitive load to bloody pull this together.
Go on then. What's the scores on the doors, love?
Oh, let's go 3 to the Blisters and 4
Yes.
to the shared decision makers.
Oh, sorry. I want to recount.
Yeah, but don't forget we've got the extra point early on for Claire and her Christmas
There's
story.
negative marking involved, and with STC on your team, you're always going to be in that territory. Okay.
We're going to lose, aren't we?
And then they'll blame the girls.
Come on, you're my sisters.
Thank you all. Let's move on to round 2. In round 2, the guests each have a question to ask the other teams. Who would like to go first on the shared decision makers? Sam has her hand up. Over to you, Sam.
So my question for you is, in what year did mandatory registration for pharmacy technicians come into force in Great Britain? Come on, people.
So while people are thinking, okay, I can award Sam a bonus point as well. Okay, because when Sam came on the Aural Apothecary, she taught me, certainly, and I haven't forgotten it since, and I've had immense enjoyment in correcting people, even correcting pharmacy technicians themselves, that their correct title is pharmacy technicians and not technicians or techs. So thank you, Sam. That was a lesson that has stayed with me, and there we are. So bonus point to Sam.
Anyone from the Blisters got an idea?
Did they just celebrate 10 years of it? Or have I just made that?
Yeah, I was thinking it's either 10 or 20, if I'm honest.
I think it's 10.
You can confer.
Yeah, we are conferring. Thank you.
Don't confer with me. I have no idea. I always thought they were registered.
Lelly?
Do you know what? I haven't got an idea about the particular year, but I know it was less than 5-6 years ago, probably.
Oh, really? Oh, well, it's definitely not.
Listen.
Should we go? You think it's 10 then, Claire? I thought it was 10.
I don't like, because I don't really know, but I'm sure on social media I saw Alison Hemsworth or somebody like that going, I remember 10 years ago when I'm sure that's...
Okay, right. That's our final answer, 2011.
Is correct.
Yeah. Thank you, Alison.
Yes,
Well
brilliant.
done, Claire.
So I follow you on Twitter, Sam, and I knew the answer to that because you tweeted about it in July, that it was the 10-year anniversary.
Indeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sam. The joy at getting that question correct is out of proportion with... Okay, next question from Mark.
Okay, so my question is, and a bonus point, because I'm clearly able to award bonus points as well, for the correct French pronunciation as well. What does BCG stand for?
Right, we're conferring again, ladies. It's bacillus. It's bacillus.
Is it?
Yeah. Anyone want to give me the C or the G?
Is it something to do with Calmet?
Calmet is
Yes.
Calmeal. Yeah.
Calmet.
Calmet, yeah.
Calmet?
Yeah. Geran.
You're right. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, my mum's a French teacher. Yeah. Yeah.
For the bonus points, if you get the perfect French pronunciation for the whole word.
First, go on, Claire, if you've got a French...
Bacillus Calmet Guerin.
Bacillus.
Calmet Guerin.
Well,
Guerin.
yeah, not bad. I mean, it's Bacille Calmet Guérin. So, or if you wanted to, you could just abbreviate it like the French did to Bacille Coq.
Memorable, snappy.
Which was named after the inventors Albert Camus and Camille Guérin. So they could have just, I feel they could have just merged Calmet, like his surname and her first name, Camille or something like that. Or Chamomile.
I can see myself, thanks for this, Mark, because I can see myself on Boxing Day when I'm with my mum rewinding this and saying to her, look, I did get it right, it's just they didn't hear me, because she's a French teacher and she lived in France. And if I get this wrong, I don't think I can actually go home for Christmas.
Your pronunciation of the second, the third word was so good that, you know, if Jamie did give you the bonus point, I wouldn't complain about it.
It's certainly the best French accent I've heard from someone from Wigan.
Faint praise, that's just rude.
Well, fair enough.
Let's mix things up a bit. Let's take a question from the Blisters. And Lelly, what's your question?
Can somebody tell me the definition of therapeutic competition?
So could I hazard a guess, and then my team members can shout me down if they think it's not correct. But let's take as an example naloxone and morphine. So my favorite drug on the podcast that I did was morphine. So
yeah.
clearly have to bring it in here somewhere. And naloxone, just it basically blocking the opioid receptor on cells. And one may, when infused into the body, go onto the receptor more readily and have a higher affinity to the receptor than the other. So you might find that one drug binds more readily than the other drug. But it might not be right, actually. So I'm not sure.
I think that's nearly right, but I might be wrong here. The one I remember is COX-2 inhibitors. So you use a COX-2 inhibitor, and you get the benefits from the inhibition of the COX enzyme for inflammation, but then adversely affects the cardiovascular system. So that's the therapeutic competition. It's basically like not quite a side effect, but it's more than a side effect. It's a therapeutic effect, but it's an unexpected therapeutic effect.
I think we might have lost the listener here.
I think we have.
Why is it that professors have to make things sound so complicated? What were you? Oh my goodness. Well, I think Jonathan came close, but I wouldn't give him a full mark. Because basically it is a drug disease interaction. So it's where you prescribe one drug for something and it causes or upsets or makes another condition worse.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think Jonathan was close.
He wasn't anywhere near. He was so far away. He wasn't even in the same paradigm.
Oh,
Rachel, I'm feeling the competitiveness coming. I think Mark gave away a point, an extra point, and we can't even have a whole point. For
No. Sorry. We won. No.
One at a time.
No, we won the point. And the other team, you couldn't even get near to the definition.
So what's your definition?
I think I could have given 3/4, but I think Mark got negative marking. That was just too complicated.
Oh.
I think Professor Elliot knows the answer. So what's the answer, Professor Elliot?
It's when you give a drug for one illness.
Yeah, like arthritis. Yeah.
And
you're see what you're doing here, Jonathan.
I'm not suggesting that. And it makes the symptoms of another illness worse.
Like cardiovascular disease.
Just to prove that not all professors talk bollocks.
I was just going to say, in the spirit of
Christmas,
yeah.
Oh, Claire,
we do a bonus point if you say it in a French accent, Jonathan.
No, he can't.
Say what in a French accent?
This isn't hello.
They COX-2 in a
COX-2
inhibitor.
That's it. I love that.
Oh, Rob Brydon, get a grip.
Yeah, dear God. Okay, next question from Claire.
Oh God. What is the active ingredient in black licorice, and what harm can it cause if it's taken in an overdose?
But you can get it in Wigan.
You get it in Wigan, yeah.
They call it Gimmos.
I'm trawling the depths of my kind of memory here. It's something to do with either calcium levels or sodium levels or potassium levels or something like that. And I can't remember which one.
You're warm.
Yeah, that's pretty close. Anything else?
Okay, first I'll give you the German translation.
Always helpful.
It's Lakritz, which is great.
That's it. That's it.
And
Lelly, nip outside now and check that.
From Wigan, I wouldn't know if that was right or wrong.
And I want to say something. Is it flavonoids?
No.
Okay. Bollocks again from this professor.
No, Jonathan. Are you there? Jonathan was fairly close. So it's glycyrrhizin. This is the only thing I remember from my whole degree at Aston University, which is shameful. But honestly, I can remember the bit of my notes it was written on. Can't remember anything else. Sorry.
Pharmacognosy, this is.
Yeah. Glycyrrhizin. So if you eat it in too much, if you have too much of it, increases imbalance in electrolytes, causing low potassium, leading to high blood pressure, possibly heart failure. And everybody always said it's one of those theoretical things that never happens. But there was actually a case in the last 12 months, New England Journal of Medicine, I think it was a guy in Massachusetts, died from an overdose of black licorice. So there you go.
Can I just say that Dr. Mark Holland, who's also been on this podcast, and I identified this in a patient who was admitted to a hospital in Manchester.
Wow.
Thank you.
There we go.
Takes all sorts.
Hey!
Oh, that's got to be. Do you not get a bonus?
Yeah,
point?
come on, we want to
let's go home after that.
Yeah, we're 30 minutes in. We've had a joke, an actual proper joke.